Morning, guys. A little more work on the tool and cutter grinder. I got my bushings epoxied in place, and I should have taken pictures of it before I pulled the shaft out. I went ahead and lapped this shaft, and you know, I mean, I could have shown part of that, but you're better off going and looking up a gentleman named Robin Renzetti, and he does a whole lot better job on showing about lapping than I could. So anyway, and that's kind of the same procedure that I followed with this. So I've added a little filler to these castings. I'm going to add another coat before I get done. Shaft fits in there nicely. Now there's still work to do on the shaft, and it is tight, which is why I'm not putting it back in there. The next step after I work these castings just a little bit is I'm going to take it in, clamp it down to the milling machine table so it's relatively square, and I'm just going to take an end mill and shave off these bushings on the end. Then I want to go back and fit the front bar so that it's a nice sliding fit in there. And I still got a little bit of crap built up in the bores of these and stuff that has to be cleaned up. But anyway, just figured I'd give you a quick little update. I changed my thinking on this just a little bit. I was going to get around and mount this on an 18 by 24 surface plate. I was shopping that yesterday, and where I'd planned on getting it was from Grizzly Industrial. They seem to have about the best prices on surface plates, and I've got their West Coast location, their Washington locations within a couple hundred miles of me, so I was just going to make a day trip and run up and pick it up. They're out of stock up there. They've got them in, what is it, Missouri is where their other distribution center is. They want another $200 to ship it. So that's about the going rate right now to get one, is about $350 plus tax to get it in the door. And I'm not sure I want to invest that much. And basically all I want is a level surface, relatively level surface, that is going to add mass to this whole thing and stabilize the base castings and pretty much lock them in place so they can't move. Now, I don't anticipate that being a problem anyway, because these castings are pretty substantial. Once you bolt them down to anything, they seem to be pretty stable. But I thought I could add some mass that way. I'm contemplating either doing a granite epoxy, or probably more likely I may pour a concrete, just a concrete slab or a concrete mounting pad for it in the dimensions that I deem appropriate to mount on a stand. Actually, that's easier than getting a surface plate. If I was going to get a surface plate, I was going to have to go back and drill it, which is not a big deal. I've done that before on my smaller surface plate for the Tormac style for setting tool lengths. But if I would pour a concrete pad for it or a concrete mounting base for it, why, I could cast those holes right in there for mounting holes to mount it on there and bolt it down, and then just probably rubber mount it into the stand, because like I say, it's going to be one unit. As long as it's level and stable, it doesn't really matter. You know, there's not going to be enough movement in this size of a plate the way I plan on mounting it. So anyway, that's kind of the plan for right now. I just threw this on a scale with the base castings here, the front and rear bar, and then the upright bar, and I've got just about 30 pounds worth of weight just in that unit. So by the time we get the rest of the castings put on here, the steel components that go on, the motors and everything, or the motor and everything else that goes with it, why, it's going to be a fairly substantial machine for what it is, for its size and everything. So far I'm pretty happy with it. I just figured I'd give you a little update. I don't think I'm going to show machining the sides of these bores. Probably the next time you'll see it, why, we'll have them shaved flat, opened up, and probably have our bar to be a sliding fit. Bushings are installed. I've got the sides shaved. I just set it on the mill table, indexed it up so it was straight, shaved the sides down so they're flush, all 4 pieces. Got the front bar to where it slides in and out. It is still a little bit tight, but I'm not going to do anything else with it until it is, until I get it face to length, get it drilled where it needs to be drilled and all that good stuff. And once I get that done, then we'll do the final fit so it fits in there. Then we'll start doing our end caps. Got a coat of primer on it, a little bit of filler in it and everything to where it looks pretty good. I still got work to do. I've got edges here and stuff. This is just initial shapes on it. So I'm pretty happy with this. The primer's still wet on it, so I'm not going to mess with it. I won't try and fit a front bar back in or any of that stuff right now. But anyway, it looks pretty good, so it's nice and level. and I'm really happy with it. It's coming along quite nicely. Radius these edges a little bit to blend them in, same way on the boss on the back, and where I just milled things before. Got a little bit of a place here that I've smoothed it down some. It sets down. I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that, if we're going to build it up, if I'm going to cut it back some more, whatever the case may be. It's just cosmetic is all it is at this point in time. But anyway, that's the way it looks. Pretty happy with it. You know, this one I cut the relief for this boss, why I just did a plunge with a larger end mill. So I went back, cleaned that up, radiused it and everything. Anyway, looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So I don't know how much more I'm going to get with it this week. I've got other work that I actually need to do. But that's what it looks like for now. We'll figure out what we're going to do for a base underneath it. I'll have to build a stand, and then, like I say, I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing for the mounting itself. Whether it's going to be a, I think I'm leaning towards pouring a concrete pad for it, and do it probably a little bit smaller than a 18 by 24. I'll probably do about 16 by 24. Looks to be a good size. It's going to have to sit fairly towards the front edge, because that's where you're working, and that's where your tilting bracket and everything has to have clearance there. So it'll be fairly close to the front edge. That'll give me enough distance to have a little bit. We'll crowd this side down to the end. So if we do it there, we've got about 3.5 inches, 3 inches on this side, because we'll have motor and pulley guards and stuff mounted out here. Actually, motor will be at the back, and pulleys and pulley guard will be on this side. So that's about what I'm thinking. We might go a little bit bigger than that, 18 by 26. And if we do, or 16 by 26, if we do 16, that gives us about 4 inches out the back for anything like height gauge, you know, whatever we figure out for a measuring device that we're going to want to slide on the back to measure off of. Anyway, that's where we're at for right now. Hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. Comments, suggestions, leave in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.